Plot synopsis for Inheritance, 2024. Now available on Netflix is the humorous whodunit from Poland called Inheritance, often known as Spadek. It was released in June of 2024. Starring Jan Pesek, Maciej Ster, Joanna Trzepiesinska, Mateusz Kroll, Gabriela Muscala, Piotr Polak, Adam Ferenczi, and others, it is directed by Sylwester Giacomo. 30 years later, the dysfunctional Fortuna family gets back together after their billionaire uncle, Vladislav Fortuna, stages his own death and leaves his patents, which might be worth millions to the winner of the game. Yes, he is a peculiar game show host who makes up a game to try and force his family to spend quality time together. However, after his death, the family finds itself stranded in a snowstorm, and the police suspect one of them is the murderer. Mayhem breaks out. However, in order to obtain Vladislav's money, they must first play the game. And why does Uncle Lad be killed? It is revealed at the start of Inheritance that Vladislav Fortuna is a wealthy inventor. We see that he has devised a bulletproof garment on the day he gathers his family. He plays a joke on his family by repeatedly stabbing himself with a knife. But the following day, he is discovered fatally stabbed in the kitchen. Lad's death is initially determined to be an accident by the real police, but they quickly detain his niece Natalie. It turns out that despite lacking any proof, the police had suspicions about her lover, Gustaw. However, all comes together when Gustaw, unable to call their bluff, admits to killing Lad in an effort to save Natalie. It is revealed that Lad hosted the Wheel of Truth game show, during which he deceived a competitor who attempted suicide after losing the game. The competitor was Katarzyna, Gustaw's grandmother, who was later taken from him and placed in an orphanage. Gustaw became close to Natalie in order to exact revenge. But when he fell in love with her, he abandoned his plans to murder Lad. Lad discovers the truth while conducting research for his game about inheritance. He and Gustaw have a conversation the evening everyone gets to his house. When they both forgive each other in the end and get confused, their brief peace is ruined. While Gustaw pardons Lad for deceiving his grandma, Lad pardons Gustaw for plotting his murder. The fact is, though, that Lad never lied to her. In addition, he attempts to explain to Gustaw that he had consumed a truth serum at that period. However, the child stabs Lad because he believes he is lying since he is so furious. He subsequently admits to the police that he didn't really intend to murder Lad because he didn't realize that man had changed and that he was just wearing his bulletproof clothing. The phony police want what? The butler brings in a Bednarski and a Gudechko he discovers wandering the grounds the morning of Lad's death, thinking they are the police. The two pretend to be the police and look into Lad's death, but nobody challenges it. Nevertheless, Lad's competitors mailed them in an attempt to obtain his patents. The two robbers were initially intended to take it. However, Lad's passing, the snowstorm that keeps the real police from arriving, and the family's game to get the patents make everything work out in their favor. All they do is take away everyone's phones and tell them to start playing the game right away. When Josie, the nephew of David, answers her covert phone and receives a call from the real police, their masquerade is soon blown. In the last game, Gudechko joins the family, her brother Henryk and the butler are taken prisoner, and the patent box is eventually discovered. With Henryk, the family and the robbers engage in combat in an attempt to disarm Bednarski. It doesn't work, but David loses it and attacks after realizing his son is injured. When the others arrive, they defeat the robbers. The two robbers are taken into custody when the real policeman arrives. Henryk finds out that Gustaw is the one responsible, but how? Henryk, Josie, and Natalie want to use the Wi-Fi at the mansion to connect to the police because they are having reception issues. Henryk quickly heads to his room after slinking away through the hidden tunnels as the fictitious policemen stop Josie and Natalie. Using Josie's laptop, he tries to connect, but it says really difficult. Yes, that's right, the password is incredibly difficult. He comes across numerous copies of the same newspaper, which announces the cancellation of Lad's game show, Wheel of Truth, while looking for hints regarding the password. It appeared that he had deceived a competitor, who subsequently attempted suicide. The names and pictures of Katarzyna and Gustaw are in the newspaper. And in the morning, Gustaw joked if Lad had forgotten to put on his bulletproof shirt before stabbing himself, even before he had seen the body. After Henryk informs the police of his suspicions, they devise a plan to persuade Gustaw to confess. Is the patent ever found by the Fortuna family? The family must navigate a maze in the last level to locate the patent box. The family opens the box to discover it is empty after the fictitious police officers are apprehended. Lad gives them one last tape, in which he says the patent is secure somewhere. He didn't really want to give up his patents just yet because the will was meant to be a prank and he wasn't meant to pass away the previous evening. You may refer to the family's game playing as a bonding exercise and a trial run. Not to be depressed, the Fortuna family just writes it off as another strange quirk from their crazy uncle. They do admit that the game has brought them closer together. Including Natalie and Gustav, who tie the knot while incarcerated, they all return to their lives with happiness. Henryk can be seen tinkering with the Rubik's Cube that Lad gave him at the start of the film in the epilogue. When he solves the puzzle at last, it clicks open to reveal a USB that most likely holds the millions of dollar patents. What takes place in the conclusion? Wheel of Truth's last episode, hosted by Lad, is released. Shown are a young Gustaw and his grandma, Katarzyna. What city was Jesse Jackson born in? Is the last question that has the power to make or ruin the game. Since Greenville is the solution, Lad even makes an attempt to assist by pointing to his green tie. However, Katarzyna believes Ringville is the solution because of the ring he is wearing on his finger. Naturally, she loses, and Gustaw is quite unhappy.